Hey guys, welcome back. So yesterday we talked about like how to create a SageMaker instance and the basic idea what's happened in SageMaker and those all the things. So from today onwards we will start our practical works, right? So how to deploy models using SageMaker. So as you guys remember, previously I told you guys there are normally three ways you deploy model in SageMaker. First one is built-in method where they already provide you the framework and everything. Just upload your data and you can train the models. Those that like as an example, XGBoost is there, DPR is there. DPR used for time series analysis and those all the things. And the second one is script mode, which we are going to focus today. In script mode, what happened? They are giving you the container of that framework, like for sklearn, for PyTorch, for Hugging Face, for TensorFlow. They will give you the whole container, and you can change your needs in that script file. Your data needs, you can change it in your hyperparameters or anything, any kind of things you wanna run a whole code there. What kind of thing you wanna do, you can do there. And the third is Dockerization method. In Dockerization, you don't have to follow anything, like you create your own image and you can go for deployment. Okay. So today our focus will be script method, how to deploy a model using script. And to be honest, in my case also, and I also normally saw people using like 80% of the cases will be done by script mode only. If you're like if you want to deploy your Hugging Face model or PyTorch model and all. So it's not, no, it's like widely used than the other two methods. Okay, so it's our day tutorial 2, ML with AWS. Okay, let's go ahead. I already have my notebook ready with me. You guys just look at it, just see what I am doing. Later on, I'll upload the notebook in GitHub. Just go ahead, download it, and start running. Don't worry much about the cost because we will use the small instance M5 large something, so it will not cost much. But just create one and within minutes just delete it, so it will not cost you much. So don't worry about much. But we'll also see like what's the cost of that instance and all everything. And one more thing, like guys, I'll tell you guys to like work in North Virginia or Ohio, because this two region is like whenever new things come up, right, they always update that in these two first, North Virginia and Ohio. Later on, slowly other came up. I think Oregon also they update. So but Ohio and North Virginia is like the like whatever update comes, they will come first here. So that's why I also do my work in this region, in this two region only. Okay, so guys, this is the library which I needed. So the top 4 library you guys already know: NumPy, Pandas, sklearn and all. These libraries are new to you guys, but don't worry. It's not like you have to remember it, right? Everything is available in GitHub. That is AWS sample GitHub. I already shown you yesterday, right? So don't worry much. Within 1 or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whenever you'll start running it again and again, you'll adapt it. So you don't have to worry much. It's a framework you have to follow. Like it's a way, like it's the same way everything every day. Whenever you'll run your code, you have to follow these steps. Just your data will change, your pre-processing will change, and based on your need, you'll change the instance or scaling and those all the things. So don't worry much. Okay, so let's start, guys. We'll start running. So yeah, let's load the libraries. Yeah, libraries are loaded. So by any chance, if you guys don't have the iris dataset with you all, just download it. I already have downloaded here. So iris.csv. Okay, let's read it. And if you want to do the pre-processing, any pre-processing, I'm not doing anything. Just do it here only. So you don't have to worry much. Just the data loading and pre-processing is the steps. Like we are going to do that. Let's assume this is a pre-processing, and now pre-processing is done, and let's go and split the data. Okay, in train test split. So here in you guys know, like in iris there is no much to do some pre-processing and all. So I just changed the column names because there are spaces that they are same is there. So that's why I just changed the name. But if in real time there will be a lot of pre-processing, right? So if the data size is okay, so just do it in local only, so you don't have to worry much. Just do the pre-processing and then do the train test split. Okay, so train test split is done. So now we are having a training data set with the target, and we are having a testing data set with the target. Okay, Now if you want to train the model in SageMaker using script mode, you have to call the data from S3 bucket, right? So we have to upload this training data and testing data to S3 bucket. So but first that, let's save the CSV, like save the data as CSV files. Okay, data saving is done. Now we have to create a S3 bucket. You can create a S3 bucket from here also. Codes are available in Google. You can just search for it, how to create a S3 bucket using, Boto 3 in SageMaker only. You will get it. So that's nothing hard. But I want to show you guys how the S3 looks. So let's go ahead to S3 bucket and see. So what is S3 bucket? S3 bucket is a storage. Like in your laptop, you are having hard disk and all, right? And nowadays SSD are available also. So like that, you are having a storage there in AWS, which is S3. In Azure, you are having blob storage. That is also storage. So just search for it, S3 bucket, and let's go ahead. So I'm already having my bucket which I'm using, MLEX storage. But for you guys, let's just create one demo bucket so that you guys also can create one. So let's assume ML demo 1. Okay. And remember, the region needs to be same. In whatever region you created your SageMaker notebook, in that region only the S3 buckets need to be present. So other things are not needed. Just go ahead and create bucket. Okay, I think it's one more thing, the bucket name. So this bucket name needs to be unique, not like only in your cloud, but it's need to be unique globally in the whole AWS platform. So someone has already created this bucket with this name, ML demo 1. So just give 234 something, 234. I think it will be new. Yeah. So just go ahead and create the bucket. Cool. So just copy the bucket name. So let's assume this is the bucket. So just copy the name and paste here. This is the bucket name. Okay. So we are having our bucket. We are having our test training file. We are having our testing file. Now the second work is to upload the files. Okay. So the files are uploaded now. In which location? In MLEXP storage. There I have created one folder called MLIDIS. You can see, right? This is the training folder. Inside that, training data, like train folder. After that, train.csv. Like that for testing. Now there are many ways to upload data in S3 bucket. You will find a lot of ways. I already saw 2 or 3 ways, how to upload data in S3. I'm just using this, but it's not like this is the only way to upload the data. You can just search for it in Google, how to upload data in S3 using Boto 3. You'll find a lot of ways to do that also. So it's nothing. So I'm just using SageMaker session to upload the data. So in SageMaker session, you have to first specify what's the name of the training file, the location of the training file, actually absolute location. So I'm already having it here only, you guys can see. So I'm just providing the training file, the whole CSV file, and then the bucket name as you guys can see, and the key prefix. In the key prefix after the bucket name, what's the folder, in which folder and which subfolder you want to upload the data, that is. So the training file location with the CSV name, like the training CSV, the bucket name, and your training folder. Okay, so let's just upload. Okay, I think we already uploaded. Just run it again. Okay, both are uploaded in our S3 bucket. Let's go ahead and check it. MLEX bucket, you can see ML iris. In that train folder, we are having training.csv. It's just got uploaded, as you can see. And in testing, you are having ML iris test.csv. Okay, so data is uploaded. What is this model data log? So model data location is the directory where the model will get saved after training. We will use this in our, we'll specify the location in that estimator, which you will see in next only. So just go ahead and okay. Now the training will start. You're specifying the instance type, what kind of instance you are using to train the ML model. Okay. Now to check the price and everything, you can just search for it, and in the Google you'll see the price. But I'm going to show you something more special. AWS calculator. Just go ahead to AWS pricing calculator and create a estimate. So what we are using, SageMaker, right? So just go ahead and configure the SageMaker. Now let it, okay, it's loading. Okay, it's done. Now for what we are using, SageMaker training. Okay, what's the region? North Virginia. Okay, yeah, it's set it. Now for how many training hours? Let's just assume for only for 1 hour we want to check, right? Number of instance per job, 1 hours, 1 by 1 MLC for X large, right? You can see, you can change the name here. What we are using, M5 I guess, yeah. M5 X large. Yep. Now just see the calculation, how the calculation is happening. So you can see the cost 0.23 USD per hour. So it's like, it's not much, like you, and it will not run for 1 hour. So don't worry, it will be done within 2 to 3 minutes, I guess 2 minutes max, I guess that will take, because it's only Irish dataset. So you don't have to worry. So that's how you can check the cost, like for your which instance you want to use and based on your needs. Okay, now here the main things come. So sklearn is the framework we are using. Okay, you can see from here I already imported the sklearn from SageMaker. So it is providing us a sklearn container, like a container for that sklearn framework. Now what are the things we needed here? The entry point. So we'll discuss this entry point in more details. Just go ahead and framework, like which framework version you are using. So right now I'm using this, but if you just search in Google, you'll see other framework versions also. But yeah, this is a good one. So don't worry, you don't have to worry much. Python version, Py3. So like Python 3 we are using. Instance type, like in which instance we are running the estimator. Let's assume this is sklearn. A small instance is good enough. But when you are running a big, Hugging Face model like the BERT and all, in that case maybe you need the GPU instance and all, G4DN type or P32X large. So that you will specify that instance type here. So this instance type is totally different from this. Though it is a MLT3 medium, but in the training you are specifying your different instance, and it will charge you only for that time being. How much time, like whatever time this training will take, that's the time range for you, that much cost it will take, that's it, not more than that. Okay, so instance type is defined, Py version is defined, framework version is defined, role, that's like a needed parameter also, and you can see the get execution load, because we are using SageMaker to run our code. After that, output path. So this output path is that location, like after training where the model will get saved, so that location. Base job in sklearn Irish. So base job name means when the training will get done, right? When the model will get saved in the endpoint configuration and all, this tag will get used. So that for that we are just using the base job name for our reminder. And this is the hyperparameters. Let's assume you want to send some hyperparameters for that model, right? As an example, we are using random forest. So in random forest, you want to change the hyperparameters and all. So here just specify the parameters, hyperparameters. Okay. Now let's go ahead and see the train.py. You can see that train.py is already available here in my local directory only. Now, this is the main thing in script mode. You need to have a script file or train file, whatever you want to say. People can call it train.py, or some people call it script.py. Both, like they are talking about the same thing here. So what's the major thing we are doing here? So we are specifying our entry point. After that, whenever we are doing fit, you can see we are providing the training data location and our testing data location, right? The S3 bucket location. Now, if you go to the train.py, forget about everything. don't see much, just focus on this first. Argument parser, right? From argument, like for argument parser, what are the things we are getting? The hyperparameters, which we mentioned in this place. Okay, the output this one is like you can say the default one, that output directory, and this is the model directory. This one, the model data path. This is here your model directory. Okay, this is your training directory, like the S3 location path. This one is coming here, and this is the testing. This testing data location is coming here. Okay, this is by default, like it is you can just keep it. It is static. It will not. It's not. It's you don't have to worry much about it. It's by default. If you search for the script file or train file in SageMaker, you'll see these things are common in every file. So you don't have to worry much about these things. So these are the major things for us. Okay, just for a reminder, always remember to follow the same name. If you are using training here, you have to specify SM channel training. If you are using train word here, TRAIN only, you have to specify SM channel train, just for a reminder, because some people use training, some people use train. So don't mix them up. Use the same name then and there. So this is the different, because this is just a variable for this location, argument variable, but this one totally coming, this training word is totally coming from this training word. So just for you guys, like just remember this one. Okay, now, so once the argument parser is getting done, so now let's go ahead and check. We are getting our training data, right? Because the training location is here. We are getting our eval data as well, because our evaluation data is also here. Now load train data, just go ahead and check the function load train data, load trace data. What we are passing? We are passing the file path, means the S3 location. So this file path will directly download the whatever data is available there in our S3 bucket. It will download it and it will start doing its work, like whatever work you specified here. So if you just go to the training, you can see what are the first steps is getting. Whenever you run this from this S3 file, the downloading will start first. Whenever the training job will start, that will save in that local directory. Now for your reminder, like whenever you run it, the downloading is done. After that only the training will start, right? When this process come, right, this is a local directory which SageMaker will provide to this script mode file as a temporary one, and that file location is OPT. If you just go ahead, just see it, OPT ML input data, right? This is the local directory where the testing file and training file will get saved. So we don't have to do anything. This all will be done in the backend by default. You don't have to worry about anything. The training and everything will be done in the backend only. Just remember, you have to pass the S3 path, and just thought like, okay, we passed there the S3 location and here the data downloading is started. So just let's assume that your data is in your local directory only, and write your own code, own custom code. Okay, so you can see from here we are passing the location, like the path. So from here we are just getting the features and label. From testing data we are getting the feature and label. Okay, so now we got our train data, train label, and eval data, eval label. Okay, now we have to train the model. So for model we are having a different function. In the model we are passing our training set and testing set. We are fitting the model, and later on we are returning the model. Okay, so this model is getting saved here. You can see joblib.dump. So whenever you will do the joblib.dump, you are passing that model directory. You can see, right, this model directory which came from this path, output path. Okay, so whenever you will run this code, the model will get saved in our output directory, which is our S3 location. Okay, so let's first understand sorry, why I went there, sorry, here model. So this is where you are passing the model directory, and this is the S3 location. This is like where you are dumping or trained model inside that S3 path. So just for now, focus on this thing. Just for now, just ignore this for function for now. So did you guys get it or not? Let me know in the comment section. Okay, so you are passing your model directory, you are passing your training data directory, you are passing your testing data directory, that is S3 location. After that, when you will run the fit command, like the .fit, it will first download your training data from that S3 location, it will download the testing data from your S3 location. Okay, and then it will save it in our temporary directory, which is that optml. Optml is our temporary directory. So now it is a local directory to you. Okay, like to this script mode. Now do your needed changes in your load train data, do your needed changes in your testing data, and train the model, and save the same model in our S3 bucket. Okay, so you can just write this code and run the .fit command. But the thing is, when you are not passing this for function, so they already have some set style format for them. Okay, we need to have the data in this format only, and then only we'll be able to give you the output. We don't want that. We want to change like how we will send our input and how we will get our output. For that, these four functions are coming. Okay, the name what we use, model fn, input fn, predict fn, and output fn, it is built-in functions. We can't change the name, because if you are not using these four functions, right, by default, whenever you will run the code, the SageMaker will think about is the default one. So in default, whatever way the model fn, like whatever way the model is getting loaded, it will get in that way. Whatever content type it requests by default, it will think about that only. And whatever way it gives the output, it will think about that only. So if you want to change your style, you have to use the same function name: model fn, input fn, predict fn, and output fn. Okay, so let's say in the model fn, what you are passing, model dir. Model dir, the S3 location from that, where the model got saved, the joblib.dump, right? So right now we are doing this all together in our train.py, but in future I am going to show you how you can do it in different file. When we will run the Hugging Face framework, right, you guys will see we'll run only this part. For this for function, we'll run a separate command. So in that separate command, you have to pass the S3 location where the model is getting saved. But here you don't have to specify anything, because we are already passing our S3 path in that framework, and here only we are doing all the work, right, after getting that, after saving the model. So we don't have to worry. Just pass the model dir, and we are using the same name, model.joblib, model.joblib, and just load the model. So model loading is done. Okay, so now when the model loading is done, this model will get passed to that predict fn, which is the second parameter, right? But when you will ask, like, let's assume your model got deployed, and it's like as an endpoint you got it, right? And now you want to send the data for prediction. So whenever you will send some data, let's assume you're sending a CSV or text data in your to your endpoint for prediction. On the first hit, it will come here in this input.fn. Okay, because the second parameter is by default, it is getting model directory, right? You are not specifying anything. You are hitting with the data, the testing data. So it will check what type of content type you are sending, text or CSV. That's also will specify in the code, you will see. So if the content type is text or CSV, it will read the data and it will give the, like, it will return the df data to predict fn. So input fn and model fn is connected to predict fn. So the first parameter will come from input fn, and the input fn function will run by the end user. When the end user will send the data, that data will come to input fn. So this content type will show like what kind of data you are sending, and the request body is the data what the end user will send. So we got our first parameter from input fn, we got our second parameter from model fn. Now the prediction will happen. Now this predict fn, like this, whatever it will give you, get the prediction, that prediction will go to the output fn, the first parameter. Here the content type, if you don't even specify, but you have to specify the parameter, but we are not using that content type, so that's fine. So this will return the final, like whatever prediction you wanna see, like the end user wanna see. Okay, I hope it's clear to you guys. If not, please let me know in the comment section. So in the next video, I'll try to explain more clearly. Okay, but I'll explain again once the training will done. So you got the point, right? So this all the thing is for training, and these steps are for inference. For inference, like what kind of changes we need in our inference. For that thing, we are using this code. And these functions are the same, like by default, it is the same name you have to use. For sklearn, Hugging Face, and also in, I guess, yeah, in PyTorch, it's the same name. For TensorFlow, it's different, I think. Yeah, we'll talk about that also. But yeah, for Hugging Face, sklearn, and PyTorch, it's the same. Model fn, input fn, predict fn, and output fn. Okay, so let's start the training, guys. See, now it will start the training job. And second, it will take some time, because it will download the data, from S3 bucket, and then it will save here, then it will start the training and everything. So let's pause here for a moment. Once the training is done, I'll just start the video. Okay, guys, so the training is done, and let's see if it is a success or not. Yeah, it's success. So don't worry. I mean, if in your first run, if you guys are doing some error, like some typo and all, or if you guys did some error, and how you wanna see like what kind of error came and how you can see that in CloudWatch, that also I'm gonna show you guys by doing a typo in my train.py file at the end of that video. I'll do that also, like how you can go and check. I'll talk about CloudWatch in that time only with you guys. Okay, so don't worry. For now, just let's assume our training is done. So let's complete the process first. Then we'll talk how, when error will come, how you can solve that, how you can find that error, how you can check CloudWatch logs, everything. We'll talk about everything. Okay, so the training is done. So now everything is done, but in the training part, this is the thing which are needed for the training. But the next part, this is for all the inference. That's how this part is getting divided. Upper part was for training, the lower parts are for inference. Okay, so now let's deploy the model. So estimator is done, .fit is done. Now estimator.deploy. So right now you can it's just a sklearn model, right? And we are using just Irish. So ML5 xlarge is good enough. It's very big already. We are having too much space, so we don't have to worry much about it. But in BERT and all those cases, maybe C4 or C4 xlarge, C4 2 xlarge, those kind of instance you will need. We'll train BERT models also in future. So let's see. So now this one will start running. Okay, now it will take some time to complete that estimator.deploy. Okay, so while it's running, let me tell you one like problem which I faced in my past in my past time when I used when I was using AWS for the first time, right? So maybe I did some mistake in that train.py file, not in this one but in BERT code and all. So when I was doing estimator.deploy, right? So it was taking too much time to deploy. When it should get done by 4 or 5 minutes, it was running for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I was getting, I was starting panics. Why it's not stopping? So let's assume if you just go here and here your endpoints will get saved, right? Whatever model you are running, the endpoints. This is your model endpoint. Okay. So let's assume your model is getting stuck in this creating status for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Anyone will panic like for the first time if they are using it. Don't panic. If something like that happened, it like there are only 2 to 3 reasons why it's happening. Okay, first maybe there is some fault, कुछ problem in that code, that's why it's taking time, because it will retry again and again to deploy, like to check if AWS is having some issues, or like if the code is having some issues. Second, sometimes, like because of, I don't know, instance availability, or sometimes it normally, sometimes I also noticed after 10 or 15 minutes the status became like, success in service. So sometimes it's also take time, but for bird and all it will not take much time. And and the third is like, sometimes it gets stuck in that status, in that creating stage, because of some internal issues and all those kind of things. So don't worry much. If you see this creating status, you will just wait for a moment, right? You can't do like, you can do a nothing, like there is no way you can delete the model in this creating state. It's need to be in service or failed. Okay, so when it is in creating states and it's like almost 30 minutes, it's still in creating stage, don't worry, because within 1 hour, max to max, I noticed within 1 hour the status will be failed for sure. So that time, just select that and delete. The delete option will enable. But still, if you feel like, okay, it's more than 1 hour still not getting deleted, whenever one endpoint is getting created, right, I'll explain more clearly. Endpoint configuration also come and the model also come. Just delete this both, right? Then only the problem will get solved. So like within some minutes it will try to restart again with the endpoint configuration, it will not find it, and it will just tell, okay, it's I'm not finding anything, so it will get filled. So okay, right now it's in service. Okay, so now I'll explain you guys what is an endpoint and all everything. Cool. So yeah, so we got our endpoint, so the deployment is done. So first of all, what is an endpoint? So guys, when you guys deploy model using fast API or Flask, you guys load the model in the script file and do model.predict, right? Here in the backend, that Flask configuration and everything is done. You just need the endpoint. Whenever you are doing estimator.deploy, that's what happening in the backend. That that unicorn, that Flask commands, everything is getting run in the backend. Now, do you want to see like how the backend, like how it is running? So just go to the endpoint. This is our endpoint. Okay, just go to CloudWatch. Where the CloudWatch log? CloudWatch. Yeah, model container log. So this is our model configuration. See that SageMaker and how the container is getting started, everything like that package, whatever package are needed to install, everything you will see here, everything for that endpoint. Okay, so you don't just check, like if you want to see like what is happening in the container and all, just go ahead and you can see like now it's 200, so it's a success HTTP. So the ping is 200. Okay, so now we have to talk about two things. What is a endpoint and what is CloudWatch? So as I told, endpoint is like your providing the model to you. It's still you only can use, not the outsider. It's for you only, like the script file. Okay, you got the model. Now there are three types of endpoint you can deploy. Actually four. I use three. I'll tell you the reason. Because so if you see that type, there are normally four type, you can say. Yeah, just let's check, like let's talk four type. Real time endpoint is there. Second is serverless. Third is asynchronous. Fourth is batching. That batch, batch jobs and all. But in the batching was normally people don't use that endpoint much. That's very few people use that kind of endpoint. We will talk about three types of endpoint, which is real time, serverless, and asynchronous. So in real time endpoint, it's like the synchronous. Like in real time, you'll hit the API and you'll get the output of it. Okay. In serverless also, it's the same, but with a cold start. Because in real time, you're getting a whole server and you will get like, they will cost you for the time being, like whenever, like for how long this endpoint will be in service. for that whole time being we will get charged. But when it's serverless, you are not getting charged by the time, but you are getting charged by the time of hitting. Like for how long you are hitting that API, for how much seconds. Like if you are running that API, let's assume you are hitting that endpoint, and to get the output, it ran for 2 to 3 seconds. For that time only, you will get the they will like give you the cost and all, not more than that. But in real time, it's like for how long the endpoint is in service, for that long they will charge you. Okay. Now, what's that? So, like people will say, right? Okay, if that's the thing, then why people are not deploying serverless endpoints only? Why we need real time? So, guys, this is a normal random forest model, right? To load a random forest model, how much time it will take? Maximum 2 seconds. That's also I'm saying a lot, I guess. But let's assume you are using some Hugging Face models, or you are using some big models. To load that models, even in your from local directory, it will take 10 to 15 seconds or 17 seconds, right? To load the model, to start that, to do after that, to do the inference task and all. So in serverless, there is a cold start. For a time being, it will stay warm. After, when you stop hitting the API, after 5 to 10 minutes, I guess 5 minutes max, I guess, I have to check. Yeah, they will go in a cold start stage. So after that, when again you will hit the API, they will start, like when you start the whole Flask code, it will install the needed libraries, it will load the model, then it will give you the prediction. But on the second time, when you do the second hit, after that only, there will be no problem, because the model is now warmed. It's in a running stage. But after some time, let's assume you stopped running it, right? So then again it will go for the cold start. It will again take time to load the model and all. So that's why in production level works, people try to use real time endpoint only. But how to make a serverless endpoint always warm up? Like there is, I don't say that it's a process provided by AWS officially, but I'll just show some small tricks, so that will help you guys to make the serverless endpoint always warm up. So in concurrency, that will be a problem, but because in concurrency, multiple threads will generate, so that then there will be delay. But if you're hitting by one by one, for that I can help you guys. Like in manual, I'll show you guys how to make that serverless always in a warm up stage. So, and the third one is asynchronous. In asynchronous, it's not real time. You will hit the API and the data will get saved in S3. Like let's assume you want to do prediction for a lot of data, not 2 or 3, not 5, but for let's say 10,000, 50,000, 1 lakh of data. So you can't wait for that long, right? So you will hit the code, like hit the button, you will hit the API, and it will show you success. And of that data, like the inference will run in the backend, okay, and it will get saved in the S3 bucket. So the cost of real time and asynchronous is same. Like it will cost by hours only. Like how many hours the endpoint is on, it will give you the price based on that. But I'll also show you guys, if you want the asynchronous as your real time endpoint, if you want the output in your real time only, like you want then and there you want the output, how we will do that and why we will do that. Because if you are having a real time endpoint, why we need to make asynchronous as a real time, why, we will also talk about that. So that's the 3 endpoints. Okay, so for now focus on real time. We created a real time endpoint. Now let's assume you saw some error, you have some query about how the model is running, where you will see every log gets saved in CloudWatch. CloudWatch is mainly focusing on saving logs and creating alarms, those kind of things, right? So if you just go to CloudWatch, just go from here, just search CloudWatch, okay. Just go to logs, log group. So in North Virginia, search for SageMaker. So you can see this is our endpoint, right? What's the name? Version 3. Yep, this is our endpoint. Okay, just go ahead and check about the details. Now, what if you want to see the training one? There's a chance like you want to see the training endpoints or training logs also. Where the training like the endpoint you're getting the details here on let endpoint, the configuration details, the model details, where the training details are getting saved in the training jobs. So you can see this is the job I just ran, right? Just go ahead and check the where is the CloudWatch option. It's here, view logs. Cool. See guys, you can see right the CloudWatch log, how the model training is getting done, where the model directory, where the model is getting saved, everything is here, right? So that's how the model training is getting done. Cool. I think the video is getting too longer, so I'll just stop the video here and we'll talk about discuss about the inference part in the next video for you all. Okay guys, so till endpoint it's done. So if you guys feel to delete the endpoint right now, please do it. If you guys are not using the endpoint right now, please do delete the endpoint. Okay, because it will charge us, it will cost us money. So this is the endpoint, as you guys can see right here, endpoint. So just select it and go for delete. You can delete using Boto3 also, which is a Python library, as I told you guys. But yeah, I'm showing how to use the UI also. But remember, this endpoint cost us money. You can just select it and delete it. Just select and delete. Okay. But this endpoint configuration and models, it doesn't cost us money. It can stay there because let's assume you deleted the endpoint, right? And now you want to deploy the endpoint again. It's not like you'll start running the training and everything again, right? So for that, what you can do, you can go to the endpoint configuration, select the configuration. Sorry, you can apply to endpoint, or you just go to the endpoint, create endpoint, just give it name. Let's use the same name, check iris v3. Use an existing configuration. This is our existing configuration. Selected. So the model, whichever model is used for that training, it will get selected and you can create the endpoint without any issue. You don't have to do the training again. Again, you can do that same task in Python notebook also, and I'll show you guys how to do that also. So right now I just show you through the UI. So how in UI you guys do that thing. So endpoint is getting generated now again. So when it will get in service, I'll delete that. So okay, that's how the training gets done in SageMaker. We'll talk about the inference in our next video. Okay, thank you guys. Please let me know if there is any query you guys have. So in the comment section you guys can let me know. Okay guys.